Any questions for Eric? Cream?
Hey, Eric, how you doing today?
Hey, Kareem, I'm well. How are you?
Good. I had a quickie. I wanted to ask a little bit about Tosh. She had that big game against Phoenix and then been in a little bit of a slump since. Just curious what your observations are. Is that kind of just, everybody's not shooting well, or is there a little bit more to it that maybe you guys have noticed?
We've talked to her about not one putting so much pressure on herself, but it's not something we want to make bigger than it is. She's 2019 even she shot the ball a little poorly to start the year and then found a rhythm. She obviously, as everybody knows, hasn't played a ton of basketball in the last 18 months. So even if you're shooting it well in practice and drills, it's not the same as being live in the game. It doesn't mean you can't make some, like, she's had some good games, but just finding that consistent rhythm is probably, she's searching for it a little bit, but I don't think we're stressing too much about it.
Gotcha. And you kind of just mentioned this. There's kind of a one-off that just kind of popped to my mind. How big of a challenge is it for all these players that have took the year off to try to hit the ground running again? I mean, I assume it can't be simple, especially with a shortened training camp.
Yeah, especially when you throw a bunch of them together and then you get some other ones that are coming right from playing overseas. You just have people in different spots. Yeah, and, it's funny. Some people come from overseas and they're totally in. Oh, I just kicked the camera. Some people come from overseas and they're totally in rhythm, and then other ones are, banged up from being overseas. So it's a mixed bag. Tina's obviously in a great rhythm, having not played in a while. So I think probably take each case on its own.
And just one last one for me. I want to ask about Teresa's role. Obviously, that has kind of changed from the beginning of the season. Just curious what you guys see, what you guys envision from her moving forward.
Yeah, she just got to stay ready and be ready to shoot the ball. We've talked, not just her, but kind of that bench group in general about not fouling as much when we check in the game, especially as teams are getting close to the bonus. She needs just to see a couple go in, like a couple other people on our team, see a couple go in and shoot it with a little more confidence. But we're still searching for a consistent rotation. Bird, Erica's played with such good energy and has given us something on the boards. So yeah, coach will kind of keep tinkering until we find a rotation that works, especially now as we've worked Maisha back in.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you.
Natalie?
Hi, we talked to you at the beginning of the week. So in this week of practice, what have you kind of seen the team grow in, especially given that there's so many new pieces that weren't here at the beginning of the season?
That's a good question. Offensively, I would say trying to figure out each other's tendencies. We've seen, we had a couple days, even when we couldn't go full out live practice with a full team. Like when Maisha sets a pick and roll, where's she going to move? How is she going to use that space? And so what does everybody else have to do? I'd say the biggest challenge is doing it live in game situations. And right now we're going to have to learn a little bit playing through games. I would say the biggest positive of the week is we were able to get some people some much needed rest and clean up a couple bumps and bruises and, hopefully get close to a full roster out there tomorrow.
Any other questions for Eric? I think that's it then. Thanks, Eric.
No problem. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Sure. Hey, what's up, Ariel? How are you doing?
I'm all right.
I know a big thing this week has been kind of, getting to know each other better. Both Eric and Mike have kind of talked about you guys trying to learn each other's tendencies even more and, having the most practice time that you've had since camp. So I'm just curious, how did that go? And how do you guys kind of approach that as players?
Yeah, it's really a matter of locking in and actually being intentional about what we're doing and what we're trying to do in practice. I think that's the most important thing for us right now. We're trying to get to know each other and the tendencies and what everybody likes. It's time for us to start actually being intentional about that instead of just saying it's something that we would like to do. So intention is very important. And I think we went well this week. I think we're better. I think we understand each other a little bit better, and a lot of the stuff that we're trying to work through just comes with time.
And that's what I was going to ask about also. You know, some of the stuff is just kind of, you know, repetitive and getting used to each other. I'm curious, what's but the way you were also describing it, you know, you got to be intentional about it. Can
Yeah.
you kind of describe what you mean by intentional as opposed to, you know, letting it come over time?
Yeah, I mean, getting in practice when you're asking your teammate what they like to do, you're not just asking just so that everybody can hear you asking the question, you know, like it's like you're asking and you're being intentional about it in the sense that you're retaining the information. You're not just letting it go through one ear, you know, and out the other, so that when we come back for the next practice or the situation happens in the game, you can remember, you know, because you retained that information. You weren't just talking, for lack of a better way to put it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And just a quickie, also a few keys on tomorrow, what you guys got to do against a pretty talented Aces team.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they're a talented team. They like to pack into the paint. A lot of their points come out of the paint. So we have to be aware and be there to help our bigs out. But on the other end of that, take it right back at them.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Natalie?
With this extra week off, has it also given the team a chance to continue to bond off the court? I know last week, Teresa mentioned that you all would have a Mario Kart tournament. Has it also given you guys a chance to continue to bond off the court?
Yeah, we haven't actually got around to that Mario Kart tournament. I'm not gonna say I'm the best Mario Kart racer here, but I just might be. I'm kidding, I'm not, but you know, competition. Yeah, it's given us a little bit of time to get to know each other off the court. Also road trips really do that for you too. We came off of an 8-day road trip a week ago. So that was really helpful as well. But this week has definitely more than anything just giving our bodies time to rest. We've needed some people that need to take some rest and heal up some little nicks that we've been dealing with. So super thankful to have had this week when it did come.
Any other questions for Ariel? I think that's it then. Thank you.
Thank
Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Oh, sorry, Kareem, did you have another?
It's all right. No biggie.
We'll start with you.
Hey, Teresa, how are you?
How you doing, Kareem?
Good. Appreciate you taking out the time for us.
Awesome. Thanks for waiting. Sorry about that.
Oh, ain't no thing. It's all good. I want to ask, you know, it's been a little bit of a role change since kind of the beginning of the season. I'm just kind of curious from your perspective, you know, how's that process gone and just how are you feeling in general?
I'm feeling really good. You know, the name of the game is getting wins, and that's what we're trying to do. We have players coming back from overseas. We have different lineups that we're looking at. So I'm just coming in every day, staying consistent, doing everything that I need to do, staying in the gym, getting up extra work, and just staying ready. You know, we're on a team where anybody's number can be called on any given night, and that's just my mentality, to just stay ready and win games. That's what we're trying to do, and that's what's most important. My role is whatever my team needs me to be at any given time, and I'm willing to do whatever my team needs me to do. So just being ready and you know, doing everything I can on and off the court to be the best I can for my team.
What's the key to that? Because I think that's a skill, being able to kind of fluctuate like that. You know, a lot of athletes, most of y'all are kind of creatures or habit and like to kind of, you know exactly, you know, how many minutes you're going to get or when you're going to go in, those kind of things. So how do you stay ready when, you know, when things fluctuate so much like they are at this point of the season?
Well, I just feel like I learned this lesson early in my career. You know, when you come from college, and or if you're drafted or not drafted, and you get an opportunity to play in the WNBA, you know that if you get that opportunity, you're in a very small group of people. So it is a blessing to be in that situation in the first place. And also, if you're in that situation, you're most likely either the best or one of the best players on your college team. So at some point, you need to figure out what your role is in this league. Now, some people stay the star player, they stay the go-to, they stay the the hot hand consistently, and others we need to figure out our role. That was my role my entire career. I've never been our all-star player. I've never been our go-to player. I've been a solid role player. So throughout my career, I've learned to contribute in different ways, stay ready, make myself versatile so I could play in Dallas and in Tulsa. At times I was playing the 3 spot. I was going through over, the 3 position in practice. We had an injury that happened at 3 spot. I was playing some 3 in the games. It's just making yourself the most versatile and keeping your value. Your value isn't necessarily what you shows up on the stat sheet. You can bring value in a lot of different ways. And as long as you keep your value high, as long as you play your part on the team, whatever that is, as long as you're a good teammate, as long as you are professional, as long as you do your job on a daily basis, opportunities will come. And at the end of the day, this is a team sport. I'm not playing for me, I'm playing for the Mystics. So I want my team to do well, and I want to put my team in the best position possible. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Cool. That's perfect. And one last thing, I know this week was, very centered on, just kind of getting to know each other, because you guys haven't had a ton of practice time, and, communication and figuring out where you like to get it, how you're going to play off pick and roll, all those little details that you guys haven't had a ton of time to get to. What's the key, or how has that process gone? And, what's the key to kind of picking that stuff up as fast as possible, especially during a week like this when you've got some time to do so?
Right. I think as far as chemistry goes, you just need time. Now, you can't speed up time, but what you can do is like the little things that help build trust. I think at the end of the day, we want to build trust as quickly as possible. When you trust your teammates, when you trust others that they're going to be in the spot that you think they're at, whenever you trust others to, close out the ball a little bit closer, apply more pressure to the ball, trust your help side. Whenever you start cohesively coming along and being able to give a little bit more because you trust that your teammates are going to be in the right position, a lot of that comes down to communication. And you can speed up that process by communicating your actions, by talking through your actions, by just over communicating. And that's something that we've tried to do this week, is talk through our actions offensively, defensively, saying what we want to do, whether we're going to pop or whether we're going to roll offensively, defensively, whether we're on the split line, if we're helping, if we're ball pressuring, if we're playing a left-handed driver, if we're sending them right, if we're going to stay a little bit longer and apply pressure from the weak side, like little things like that. But I think communication will speed up the process to trusting each other a lot faster, which ultimately will lead to faster team chemistry.
And I lied, I got one last one. Just wanted to ask, a few defensive keys for tomorrow against the Aces.
The Aces have a lot of different ways that they can score. They have an obvious interior presence, as well as very deadly shooters on the outside, as well as a really great point guard. So, we're going to have to do our best to limit the touches of the inside presence, as well as keeping the ball out of the hot hands, make sure that we're making sure people do things that they're not comfortable doing, closing out on shooters, making it put the ball on the floor, not giving them a clean open look, making them do something different than what they want to do, than their scout report says. I think that's the key to success, just making people feel uncomfortable on the offensive end and making them do something different than their initial instinct.
Cool. Thank you very much. Sorry for rambling, Natalie.
Oh, no problem. Before I give my thoughts on Tell No One, I wanted to ask, what have you guys been doing as a team to be able to continue to bond off the court? I know chemistry can also be built off the court as well.
Absolutely. We have a really fun, light-hearted team. We have a lot of people that have very similar interests, and I know that there's a game night coming up soon. I know there's the time that we get in the locker room, the time that we spend on the road, just having small conversations, getting to know one another. We went to dinner one night and we went around the table asking 3 random questions.
everybody had to come up with their 3 questions. Everybody went around the table answering those 3 questions. And it was just really fun to learn things that you wouldn't typically be able to just bring out of people in everyday conversation. So finding little things that you have in common through these like silly questions was actually a lot of fun. It's with this group, it's just really easy to build chemistry off the court because it's a fun bunch. Everybody just naturally feels like you're not forcing any kind of chemistry. It's just it's a lighthearted, fun, good time all the time.
And then I did finish Tell No One. I was able to pick up on a couple of those little things, but then the ending still had like 3 extra layers of
Yeah.
things that I wouldn't have expected.
Yeah.
And it was, I love the thrillers, but I'm glad had to hold off Wednesday night so I could finish it Thursday morning because I hate going to bed with those thrillers that leave you with like on the
Yes.
last page something that's gonna keep you up at
Absolutely.
night.
Absolutely. Did you end up liking it though? I liked how in the beginning where you just think that she's dead
Mhm.
and then you get the email.
Yeah. And so I figured she would come back in some sort of way, but
Yeah.
wasn't how.
How you
And then
saw
how she ended up coming back, I had expected her to have been held captive.
yeah.
So how that came out, I was like,
It was crazy.
the last 100 pages, I just couldn't stop reading.
Well, I zoomed through the last 70 pages of The Couple Next Door. It was excellent. I'm actually starting the Da Vinci Code now, so I'll let you know.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Yeah. I'm reading the sequel to The Tattooist of Auschwitz.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that there was a sequel. It's based around one of the side characters.
Really?
So it's not really a sequel. It doesn't follow the 2 main characters of that. But if you like historical fiction, I was looking because Amazon Prime will give you the free 2 books every month.
Mhm.
And it was in the recommended on the bottom, and I was like,
Really?
sequel? So I went and borrowed it from the library right away.
That's on my list to read The Tattooist of Auschwitz. So
Yeah,
I'm
read that one, and then you'll have to read the sequel.
for sure. For sure.
You'll love Da Vinci Code. Once you get through that one, I think there's 2 more, and I crushed all 3 of them.
Man, I'm excited.
They're
I'm
quick
so
reads. The way
excited.
he writes, they're like short chapters, so they're like really, you can fly through them really
Love
fast.
some the short chapters make you feel like you're accomplishing things a lot faster than what they're actually.
I am so grateful for Teresa's book club, but we're going to have to close it out because she has to
All
go.
right, we're gonna close book club next week, guys.
Yes.
Sorry, we went off the rails. Thank
you
y'all.
guys.
Bye.
And that was
Teresa.
Guys, have you ever read Tell No One?
no.
And
but
we
you-
will see everyone back here tomorrow. Have a
See
great
you
rest of your
tomorrow.
week, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.